On October 14, 1964, Brezhnev replaced Khrushchev and came to power. He ruled the Soviet Union for 18 years, second only to Stalin in 30 years. In the past 18 years, the Soviet Union maintained an unprecedented stability. The second half of the 1960s, the Soviet economy was developing better. In the early 1970s, he was able to tie the United States for strategic nuclear weapons. But it was during these 18 years. The Soviet Union accumulated a large number of political, economic, and social problems. The Brezhnev period was a critical turning point in the Soviet Union's decline. He lived to be 76 years old. Born in a common family in Ukraine. A group of young cadres like Brezhnev who were born after the October Revolution. With this great opportunity. October 1964. Khrushchev was still on vacation at that time, bathing in the south. He received a call temporarily. A group of people announced at the meeting. Khrushchev stopped working. It's that simple. Khrushchev stepped down. In the process of planning to overthrow Khrushchev. It's not that Brezhnev is capable, and it's just that he can't do it. He is a mediocre person, so all forces can accept it. Everyone is more at ease, so Brezhnev is lucky. Many people, Brezhnev completely regarded as a temporary, transitional character, always ready to replace him. Then why do people look down on Brezhnev so much? He is indeed average. He has no high cultural, theoretical literacy. No outstanding talent and wisdom. Always used to doing things according to the rules. Only do some execution. He doesn't like reading. Not very good at writing. He don't even read the documents and reports by himself. Let the secretary read it out for him directly. All speech reports by Brezhnev. Even give a simple speech. All the secretaries need to prepare the speech. He just needs to recite as he wants. He rarely sees him speaking out of writing. Even if he reads a draft, he often reads it wrongly. This is Brezhnev. Very cautious, very accustomed to being conservative. Do things as usual. What Brezhnev fears most is major changes and turns. So he never acted impetuously and recklessly. When having a meeting or discussing issues, Brezhnev never comments first. Always listen to everyone's opinions first. Then try to take care of all positions and interests. Make a compromise. Come up with an intermediate plan. It's best if no one is guilty of this plan. So Brezhnev is a compromise expert. He's really a good person. Good temper. Very polite, too. Don't make any strict requirements for subordinates. That's really the perfect leader in everyone's heart. A cute old man whom everyone loves. You want to tell me what his shortcomings are? That's vanity. Like to be flattered. Brezhnev has a strange habit of honor and reward. Because he had more medals than Stalin and Khrushchev combined. Total more than 200 pieces. These include 4 Lenin medals and 4 Soviet hero medals. Some medals and military ranks. It was what he asked. The event was held in Brezhnev. There were as many as 44 officers who received medals and medals for him. Very powerful. Full of rows. According to the Soviet ambassador to the United States, Dobrynin. Once I went back to Brezhnev's house to visit him. He let him sit down. Go out first. After a while, he appeared in a marshal's uniform. It's full of glittering medals. Very shining. Brezhnev asked him how he looked. Good looking or not, he's so cute. When Brezhnev ascended the throne, there's still a lack of self-confidence. Make a report every time. Every time I see a foreign guest. You have to ask your subordinates how they performed. Of course, they're going to flatter you to death. So later it became a system. Whenever there is a major event. Afterwards, they summarized the long passages of praise for Brezhnev to show. He likes to listen to these reports. The more you listen, the more satisfied. The more you listen, the more you feel. Although Brezhnev is average. But he is also an old man with a taste for life. He likes to smoke, and it's very fierce. Also like to open a party. Love hunting and racing. He has collected more than 100 luxury hunting guns. More than 30 luxury cars from domestic and imported are parked in the garage. The house is filled with gifts from politicians from various countries. He has no broad economic perspective, no long-term work goals. What is he good at? It's a power trick in arranging and handling cadres. He's very good at it. That is, limited ability. Very high emotional intelligence. He is a cadre who was removed from office. Very comforting. When the first secretary of Moscow was removed, Brezhnev also called him specifically. Express comfort. Ask him what he needs, just mention it. The old secretary said, "My daughter still lacks a suite when she gets married." Brezhnev immediately ordered him to be assigned a suite. You said such a good leader. Everyone must be applauding. In short, from Brezhnev's temperament, cultural education and experience, he grew up under the Stalin system. Very typical leading cadres. He might be a good person, but not a good leader. But the fact is, there was really no one except Brezhnev at that time. He's been doing agriculture, had industrialized, have fought a war. All experiences are quite comprehensive, when the quality and level of cadres are generally not high. Basically, he is already a general from the short. Brezhnev got hit twice in the 1970s. The first stroke occurred in Vladivostok, when he was talking to U.S. President Ford. Atherosclerosis in the brain. Relying on the help of medical staff, he forced himself to complete the talks. It's on this way back to Moscow. He had a second stroke. Since then, Brezhnev's working hours have become less, because his body is broken. Aging is very serious. The leader's average age is over 70 years. This group of old people, stiff thinking, leaders with reduced mobility. The retired old man who was supposed to be taking a walk in the park still occupies the highest leadership position. Don't leave. Can't do work either. Only rely on their assistant team to work. All the secretaries and assistants have to make suggestions. After Brezhnev got sick, become speechless, the secretary who drafted the materials for him had to avoid the words he was not pronounced well. Pick the words he says clearly to express. More and more formal. Meetings are often only 15 to 20 minutes. Shorter time than convening a meeting. Many major issues are difficult to discuss in depth and seriously. It usually says at the meeting, "Comrades, this has been studied. Have exchanged opinions in advance. I've also consulted with experts. Do you have any comments? Then what else can you give if you think you can give a comment in this situation?" For example, in the early 1970s, someone proposed to carry out a scientific and technological revolution. The United States is doing well. The Soviet Union cannot fall behind. Soviet leaders began to feel that this work was important. So Brezhnev mentioned the issue of scientific and technological progress in his report at the 24th National Congress. The Soviet Union wants to develop technology. After the conference, study and discuss the issue of this scientific and technological revolution. After several months of struggle, write a report of more than 130 pages. As a result, there was no further information after the report was submitted, until after Comrade Brezhnev's death. It was found this report sent in his safe. But it's been 15 years. That is to the second half of 1985. Wait until Gorbachev comes to power. A special meeting was held to discuss scientific and technological progress. How ridiculous this is. There are actually many such examples. In the later years of Brezhnev, all kinds of bureaucracy and mutual blame were everywhere in the Soviet Union. The economic situation is getting worse. At that time, a large amount of grain and meat were relied on imports. Consumer goods supply is very tight. Labor productivity has been declining. Early 1980s, the Soviet economy had almost zero growth, even negative growth. Under this severe situation, Brezhnev, under the promotion of the KGB in the military, it also promotes expansion. In Africa and the Middle East, Soviet Union reached out to Angola, Ethiopia, Somalia, and southern Yemen. In Latin America, Soviet Union intervenes in Nicaragua. In Asia, Soviet Union supports Vietnam's invasion of Cambodia. At the end of 1979, the Soviet Union sent troops to Afghanistan again. And this is sending troops to Afghanistan. It is by Brezhnev, Ustinov, Andropov, and Gromyko decided in a small circle. Read the news to know this. This wrong risk decision. We all knew it later. Pulling the Soviet Union into the quagmire of the Afghan war. It paid a heavy price for more than 10 years. The Soviet people's disappointment increased greatly in the end. Various political jokes about Brezhnev. It is also popular in society. Brezhnev died in 1982. The Soviet Union experienced Andropov and Chernenko again. These two old men added up to less than 3 years, because the two old men are almost losing their bodies. Very old, although Andropov's cultural cultivation is quite high. Very thoughtful, too. There are also great reviews among a group of intellectuals and cadres. After taking the stage, understand discipline and order. Handle Brezhnev. He is more capable. Refreshing. Unfortunately, he was old. He only has half a year to work normally, because his kidney is broken. The remaining year is all about hemodialysis, spent in the ward. Chernenko succeeded Andropov. Chernenko is an old and incompetent guy. Let the Soviet Union return to the atmosphere of the Brezhnev period. So overall, 18 years of Brezhnev's rule, although the Soviet Union military power that can be on par with the United States. But they all exhausted, putting the Soviet Union in an unprecedented isolation internationally. The facts are clear. The period of Brezhnev was critical when the Soviet Union declined from prosperity. The conditions were prepared for the disintegration of the Soviet Union less than 10 years later.